Hey, check this out. You see how easy it's now to press the buttons? I don't require the strength of Hulk to press the buttons. You want to learn how I did it? Keep watching. All right, so the first thing would be, look, bad habit. This is what I had to do before to press the buttons. So the first thing we need to do is we need to open up the watch. Why are the buttons so tough to press on this watch? Well, I'm about to show you why. Just stick with me. That way you get to see. Gotta remove both straps. We gotta remove these two screws on the side. This hold the front bezel and the back also. These are, gotta pick at that screw to get it out. At this point, you can remove the bezel if you want, but I'm gonna continue to remove this back rubberized cover, which is also being held in place by the back plate and screws. Okay, let's remove the O-ring out of the way. Since we have a button down here, I'm gonna poke at it from the top. And this watch has the two springs, like it had like a solar panel, but it's actually for the dual illuminator in the outer ring of the watch. So we don't need the module anymore. Now we remove the bezel, and it's a little bit easier now to remove without that back plate. See how it is? Here is the first issue. So we have kind of a double button design here, and you can see these red overlay buttons are part of the bezel, and they are kind of stiff, and this is to prevent the mud from going in the watch. But you know, if you look through YouTube, you're gonna find videos of these watches that have been used and abused. And since it has these openings here for these fake metal bezel overlays, mud will still get in there. So through here, and through the opening of the glass. So this makes it a little bit rough to press. But then when we get to this part here, you see how I made this one soft? Look, this is the only button I haven't fixed yet. You see how rough that is? So let me show you. All right, so here is the original spring for that G-9000. You can see how small it is, and it's very, very stiff. I'm gonna be replacing it with a DW5600 spring. Even though it's a little bit taller, the DW56 is softer and easier to compress. So let me put that to the side, get the watch, and the adjust is the only one that I have not replaced. Let me get my the goggles that I wear on top of my glasses. So if you're not used to removing buttons, this might throw you off, but it's about practice. So the two buttons on this side, they have a flat spot. The flat spot go towards the top. The ones on the left side of the watch have a one side fit. Look, because that hole is not in the center, the button would only fit one way. So what you see there is silicone, which during my experiment I placed synthetic lubricant, which this is basically silicone. I'll leave you a link down below. Trying to get the buttons to soften up, but it didn't do pretty much anything. So we got to remove the O-rings. Remove the washer. And now remove the spring. This side's different. All right, so going backwards now. So you might be thinking, where am I going to get those springs? Well, if you haven't done any modifications where you have laying around extra buttons like I do, you have to jump on eBay or AliExpress or Amazon. I'll leave you an Amazon link where you could get DW5600 aftermarket buttons, and they come with the spring. They come with smaller washer, so you're not going to be using the washers or the O-rings. What you're going to be using is the spring. Now putting the other side, putting a little bit of that silicone in there is a good idea, because as you can see, when you press the button, the plastic, it'll rub the corners, and it will help it slide in and out. All right, so let's put back the C-clip. These are magnetized, so they help me out. So I'm pressing the button just so I can get at that lip where the C-clip goes. And once it's in there, I can let go of the pressure using the back of this, being very careful. Just clip it in place. Nice and simple. And as you can see, this does not affect the water resistant that came with the watch, because you're not changing any O-rings. All you're doing is changing the springs. So the softer the spring, the softer the button. So here are the 4 originals. I'll keep them in a safe place. Oh, and by the way, if you still find the buttons to be stiff without the spring, you can install them without the spring too, and it's a lot softer. There are watches that don't have springs. It just, the little tap on the module is the one that returns the button back. The more you know. Now, the bad thing about running the button without the spring is, since this stem or shaft doesn't have groove to hold the O-rings in place, when you press the button, the O-rings are gonna slide all the way to the back, and they're not gonna be compressed against the case, which means the water resistant is affected. So you might get water inside the watch. So don't run them without the springs. All right, so once you get to this step, make sure the inside of your case is clean and the LCD on your module is clean. Because of the pins, this watch works similar to a solar watch. I like to put the area where the pins are first. Plus it has the light button at the bottom. And holding it, lightly applying some pressure. I'm gonna compress the tabs for the buttons. And it's in. Notice how I didn't remove the rubber gasket. The watch is new, so no need to do that. But if you want to see it, that's the battery right there. Put that back. Freshly lubed O-ring. I think this watch needs to be opened up again. In years, until the battery goes out. So this watch is very lucky because it's not, well, I'm not planning on abusing it, so it's gonna have a pretty chill life. All right, so I'm gonna slide that in, making sure the holes are aligned. I'll bring that the rear cushion, and then I just start applying the screws. All right, that was very small pressure. And here you have it. See how nice and easy it is to compress. Install the bezel. So now the only thing that is still applying a little stiffness is the bezel. So the only thing you could do is just use it every day, make the outer bezel softer, but you know, it improved the stiffness. And we do not mess around with the water resistance, although some people think that if you open up a watch, the watch is no longer waterproof, but then there's a difference between being waterproof and water resistance. You know what I mean? Sometimes people that don't know are the ones that do the most talking. That's how it is. That's how it is everywhere. And you gotta remember, I don't know everything. I just tinker around and figure it out. I'm pretty sure I could go swimming with this watch right now and nothing's gonna happen. I've done it before with my other watches. Now, to get to the troubleshooting screen, you go adjust mode, stop start. Whoop, did it wrong. Back to the main screen. Let's try it again. There it is. Stop start again. Again, back to the beginning. There it is. Stiffness lowered on the G-9000. This This is a good moment for you guys to give me a like if I helped you out. Thank you for watching. Peace out.